Hi, everybody. Hopefully you're hearing me okay. If not, you can raise your hand or type something in the chat bar. But we're about to get started here in a minute or two, so just hold in there. All right. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jordan from Moving Tracks. If anyone is having trouble hearing me, just let me know. You can type something in the little chat bar up to the top left of your screen, or raise your hands. But hopefully everything is going okay on the technical end. And yeah, let's rumble. So I'm the digital marketing manager from Moving Tracks, and I just want to give you all a warm welcome from sunny Barcelona. You can see the sun. Just as an introduction, our software helps museums, retail stores, events, banks, etc., integrate proximity technology into their applications. So it's really flexible, simple to use, and starts at 15 euros per month. And after the webinar, we can offer you a code for 1 month free. So as far as the webinar, we know that there's a learning curve to any technology, and we want to offer as much support as we can. So the hope is that in these 30 minutes, you'll be inspired by the potential of beacons and feel just about ready to launch your campaign. So if you do have any questions, there will be a Q&A time at the end, and you're more than welcome to type something into the chat bar, and if I can put it into the presentation then and there, I will, or if not, I'll get to it at the FAQ. So let me just pull up the presentation here. Just the overview, basics and best practices, a little bit of troubleshooting, the dashboard overview, and then setting up the campaign. So for some of you, this may be a little bit repetitive, but just kind of as an introduction to proximity marketing, and with some insider tips included. Here's the basics and best practices. So what exactly is proximity marketing? It's any system that utilizes location technologies to directly communicate with customers via portable devices like a phone or an iPad. It can be at a concert, for example. I guess there is some technical difficulties here, but just a black screen on webinars in there. Yes, exactly. So you should be able to see the presentation right now. This is using webinars on air as a platform for Google Hangouts, which is on YouTube. So hopefully you can see me, or you can see the presentation. if you're still having trouble, shoot another message over. Sorry about that. But proximity marketing isn't just one technology. It can be implemented using a number of different methods, including QR codes, NFC, geofencing, and beacons. So yes, I'll do a quick overview of each one of those. Yeah. QR codes, basically, I'm sure you've seen them, a code of black and white squares that's used for storing URLs or other types of info that can be read by a camera on a smartphone. So you get this unique code online, and they're pretty easy to deploy. You can have them on a business card, for example. But consumers do need to take the step of opening up an app and pointing a camera to read it. So it is a bit of a hassle. NFC came along, and it's most often used for payment technologies like Apple Pay, but it doesn't have to be limited to payments. Basically, users need to place phones near an NFC tag, usually about 10 centimeters or less, so it's pretty close. And they get info or they send info. There's a ton of marketing opportunity with NFC technology, and the good thing is you don't need an app to work with NFC, but you do need some hardware, and it's not automatic marketing like Bluetooth or geofencing. They have to actively put their phone up to it. So it's not as much of a hassle as QR codes, but it still is something that users need to actively do. It's a good proximity tool to start out, but more mature marketing strategies take advantage of geofencing and beacons too. So geofencing, basically, as you move around with your phone or your iPad or whatever, your cellular connection is managed between towers. So information can be sent to devices that are within a specific region. It's not exactly a precise technology, but it can be useful to get your message to a target audience at the time that you need to or you want to. Unfortunately, if there's no signal on the phone, on the metro generally, for example, or maybe in some stores, then it's not going to work. If GPS isn't working, then yeah, you're kind of stuck. But it is, and again, it is accurate, but only to about 3.5 meters compared to 1 or so with beacons. So beacons are more accurate as well. And as far as beacons go, that's what people mostly think of when they think of proximity marketing. But basically an indoor positioning system that enables a smartphone to perform actions when it's close to a physical Bluetooth beacon. Typically, there's a mobile application that enables the technology, and basically you can send content through Bluetooth. And again, it's more accurate than geofencing, though with some platforms like Moving Tracks, you can use both at the same time. And I guess some of the downsides might be, well, NFC tags don't need batteries generally. You will have to replace the beacon batteries maybe every year or so, depending on the battery. And they're also a bit more expensive, and you have to set them up correctly. They are a bit more of a hassle. Depending on your goal and the hardware, they can send signals between 1 and 70 meters, and that's expanding more and more. Security, both in terms of keeping the hardware safe and using quality software, is an issue. On the positive side, it is worth noting that unlike Bluetooth in the past, which was just an absolute vampire for energy, Bluetooth only takes a few percentage of battery power a day if you leave it on. So more and more people are using Bluetooth now, in large part because of that, and because of the value that they get from using these beacons and other Bluetooth technology. Hold on, it looks like there's some technical difficulties here. Let me try and get in touch. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up. Just type here. All right, well, I'm going to continue here, and hopefully the technical difficulties are resolved here. Yeah, as I was saying, beacons are, people are turning Bluetooth on more and more, and beacons are becoming much more feasible because more and more users are available by Bluetooth. Which one do you choose? Well, that's up to you. Define your audience and your goals and the best way to reach them with those four methods in mind. And each one does have its pros and cons. So the best option may be to try some combination of them. Maybe, for example, you want to use geofencing to send a message to someone when they are within 500 meters of your McDonald's is using this right now, or I think McDonald's. But Taco Bell. Taco Bell, when you're within 700 meters, you can, it will let them know that you're coming if you've already ordered through the app. And then once you get close, they use beacons to let them know that you're there. So you can end up using both, and they're probably using NFC for payments, and I'm sure there are QR codes involved too. So it's good to keep your options open and to be thinking through some type of combination as well, which is possible via Moving Tracks. So who's using them? Virgin Airlines, Starbucks, McDonald's, as I was saying, Taco Bell. We have different articles on iBeacon's blog every week about new use cases from museums to events, banks. A great variety of organizations are using it. Okay, yes. Still sorry about I guess having trouble seeing me. Glad you can hear me at least. At the moment, the presentation is just a slide share, which I can send. So at least you can take a look at that. This is an older slide share, not this particular event. So you can follow along there, and this will be on YouTube later, so you'll be able to see it then. Sorry, that's the best I can do for now. As I was saying, they're being used by an eclectic array of organizations, and the more and more people see them in everyday life, the more common you'll see them in retail. Yeah, so just to share some beacon stats that show a bright future for beacons. 37% of big retailers in the US will launch by the end of the year. 53% of consumers share their locations with brands for relevant deals. And last year, this coming year, it's expected beacons alone are expected to influence $4 billion worth of US retail sales just in US top retailers. And we have clients all over the world, I think in 23 different countries. So other markets will be seeing them heavily as well. So as with any new technology, there are always some concerns, from security to privacy to spamming. And of course, for beacons, users have to opt in to, this is by design by Apple. They have to opt in to get these notifications, and they have to be using your app. So How can we implement them effectively? Don't send 1,000 messages. Don't send obvious spam without benefits. Always, always, always give value, and use quality hardware and software. So as far as hardware, keep in mind battery length. You will have to replace the batteries at some point. So yeah, keep in mind the maintenance. Housing, if it's going to be in public place, if you want it to be noticed, try and make sure it's well designed. If you want it to be hidden, think about that too. If it's going to be outside, you want it to be sturdy. For NFC in particular, you want to know how much memory is available. And for beacons, you want it to have a good chip in there. There's an antenna to see what the range is. Plus, you want them to be easy to configure. For choosing proximity software, you want to ask, is it easy to integrate into your app? Is it flexible and scalable? Is it secure and stable? You may even want to ask what their last update was specifically, how long ago that was, what it fixed, because you don't want you want something that's improving, but not that's getting updated all the time. You also need to make sure it has a REST API, and you want to know what you can do with that too. Can you get the raw statistics from it? Can you play around with it? How much can you use it? You also want to know if it's, I would say you want to know if you can use QR codes, NFC, and geofencing as well. But as far as beacons go, you want it to be beacon agnostic. There are a lot of different beacon hardware on the market, and you may want to switch at some point. So having a beacon agnostic is important. This I'll just kind of leave here. Again, this will be on SlideShare, this exact presentation, not the one that I just sent. But yes, you'll be able to take a look at this later. Sometimes it could be the manufacturer, but there are some specific steps you can take to see if it's not the manufacturer, if there's something up, and it's pretty discouraging if something's wrong with your technology when you're trying to get this new thing launched. So yeah, use this if you need it. All right, on to the most important part of the presentation, the dashboard. So I'm gonna let you see what the dashboard looks like in a second here, but there are 5 sections. Campaigns, they configure the interactions that will happen on the user's device. Points, configure the interest points where the beacons will be installed. Reports, get information and monitor the campaigns. Profile, configures the main settings. And then lastly, wake up all devices and sends a signal to all mobiles with the app installed to download new campaign content. Okay, so let's dig in. Pull up the screen share here, and I will try and describe it as much as I can for those who do not have the visual. Yes, let me just pull this up here. So again, you can see campaigns, points, reports, profile, and wake up devices. So we will start with the points section here. Actually, let's start with the profile section. So this is where you can put your own branding. If you have a logo you want to put up here, you can do that here. You can change the colors. This is helpful if you're using us as a white label and you're selling us to others. API and SDK are accessible right here. We have a Cordova plugin if you want to just code it once and code your app once in HTML. You can add your social profiles here as well. The UUID is here, as well as the API. You set the major and the minor in the point section, but the UUID for the beacons is right here. Okay, so points and zones, and this is a little button over here for NFC tags if you want to add your NFC tag URL. So first, you create a zone, a geographical area. Usually create it a little bigger than you might think is needed. Just again, geofencing isn't quite as accurate as beacons. Name the zone, ECN zone. You can send a message when a user enters this zone by clicking that button there. Yeah, that's it. And then this other section, points, you can create a point here. Let's pull that up. Yeah. So I will change this. Actually, no. Let's zone to ECN zone. And that's where you can add your beacons. Okay, another zone here, point here. ECN point. Zone. ECN zone. And if you are using beacons, you can use the major and the minor here to identify them specifically. I have more beacons there. Next up, campaigns. So new campaign. Give it a name. Hi. Need to start and end date. If you have an NFC tag, you can put that in here. And your campaign delivery, you can do once every 20 minutes if you want to, or you can just do it only once. You can deliver in the background if you want to. And then here are the triggers. So triggers are basically what you need to configure to send the information. So this is what a mobile user would have to do to get the messages. So you can do on visit, for example, and you select a zone, ECN zone, Ximini campaign with beacons, and you can match that to a point, ECN point. For Ximini, you have to choose far, near, and immediate, and that depends on the beacon that you're using, how far exactly those are. And entering or exit this location, you can choose that as well. You can add more triggers if you want to, such as if they're following you on Twitter and they're in this particular zone or near the beacon, you can send messages to them. If they haven't visited certain points, you can send messages to them after a certain amount of time. You can target specific customers if you want to. Yeah, so there's a lot of options. The social follow piece is one of the coolest features because you can really narrow in on who you want to target, like your Facebook fans for a particular promotion. But we'll just leave it there. And then the action is the last piece you need here. As you can see, there are a lot of actions. We just added Oracle Sales Cloud as one of our actions. But yeah, we can do a lot of things here. You can even launch an app, for example. So it's dark outside and you're at a concert and you can launch a flashlight app if a song comes on, for example. You can show product info. You can have audio play. You can have them visit your Facebook page and post a picture for 10% discount. There's a lot of options. It's very flexible. Right now, we'll just do show alert, and we will do my phone here. How are you today? Finish. That's it. Campaign is activated. I will show you what it looks like on my phone in a second here. Yeah, obviously you want to use the analytics piece as well. Campaigns point, you can see the campaigns, how many deliveries there were. You can see the points, the zones, the who visited, their average visit time, the points they visited. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can see there. You can also see what coupons were used as well that you sent out, and you can even do some surveys, and you can see which ones were answered and see the answers there. So there's a lot you can do with those statistics, and you can access our API if you want to create some custom statistics as well. All right, well, that's about it. If there are any questions, now is the time. Get on here. Stop. This is the campaign. Hi there, how are you today? So if you do have any questions, shoot them over. I can turn your mic on too, I believe. Also available, Jordan at movingtracks.io if anything comes up. Well, I guess close it out for today then. Thank you for attending, and I will shoot everyone an email with the actual slide share, a link to the YouTube video. Sorry about the visual again. And 1 month free. Best way to learn is to experience. You should have all you need to. You should have all you need to launch. So, yeah. Well, gracias, and hasta luego.